Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about narrative priority in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So, narrative priority is a concept that I learned about by reading John Harper's brand new stellar tabletop role-playing game called Blades in the Dark. Highly recommended. Go check it out. He has a concept in that game. I'm not sure if he uses the exact term narrative priority, but the concept's absolutely built into the game. And I'm going to explain narrative priority. And really what narrative priority is it's a very portable player tip to player behavior that can easily be ported over into Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for every single player character, for every player, okay? And narrative priority, so it's beautifully illustrated in John Harper's Blades in the Dark, but I'm going to give a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition example, okay? So in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, let's say that we are on a high fantasy world, Thracion. We're in the Aesient realm, okay? And within Aesient, there is a meeting that 3 player characters have been called to, okay? Now, the 3 player characters, they're all female player characters. One is a dragonborn fighter, one is an elf rogue, and one is a human bard, okay? Now, this is an interaction that has been called for, and essentially the magistrate of the realm of the city that they've just entered has called these characters to report to the magistrate's office, okay? Now, the reality is the human bard who's in disguise is actually the long-lost sister of the magistrate himself. So she is his sister, okay? And she has the opportunity to reveal herself, or to remain disguised, or to see if her brother recognizes her even in disguise, right? Now, the dragonborn fighter and the elf rogue, they are long party members with the human bard, and so they're an adventuring group together. They're all called there, okay? Game Master brings them all into the magistrate's office, explains the magistrate's office, and says that the magistrate is extremely well off, and that his office is filled with scrolls and both magical and mundane with information, and that on one of the desks there's actually a gem the size of an egg that's made out of what looks like sapphire, right? And then also he has 2 guards, right? And these 2 guards are both tiefling guards who are throwing major shade at the dragonborn fighter the second the dragonborn fighter walks in, okay? So here you see there are 2 interrupts, okay? Now all the Game Master has done is he's just simply explained what the actual situation is in the magistrate's office, which totally is story-based and completely makes sense and naturally fits. There's really nothing unusual about it. It really shouldn't be an issue, right? So all this is going on, but right out of the gate, the rogue has the opportunity immediately to just back up a couple steps or even a few inches and snag that egg sapphire, walk out with a couple grand GPs in stolen goods, or steal a magical scroll or get an information scroll, pickpocket all the way. It's a great opportunity for the rogue, okay? The Dragonborn fighter's getting major shade from these 2 tieflings, right? So the Dragonborn fighter, she can puff out her chest, she can adjust her her sword, right? And there's a really good possibility, and I've seen this happen in a ton of games, that there's going to be a throwdown and they're just going to fight, right? Especially if this character is half cocked or just like many characters, right? Ready to throw down at a moment's notice, right? So there are really distinct reasons why those player characters have things to do. The Dragonborn fighter can adjust her sword in a threatening way, or put her thumb on her sword, right? In which case, Those other, fighters, they may do something else, or they might come around and say, we need to check your weapons or whatever, right? The rogue has the possibility to steal, a magical scroll, a mundane information scroll, or, a 2,000 gold piece gem, right? Totally awesome reasons to interrupt this scene, right? Now, for player character-wise, story-wise, bet it's on. They can derail this entire story, okay? But the players have the opportunity to recognize narrative priority, okay? The person who has narrative priority here, the player character who has the most on the line is the player character who's about to see her long-lost brother, and she's going to see if he recognizes her. She's going to have to make a decision. There's going to be an important interaction scene. Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is about exploration, interaction, and combat, right? And this is a key interaction scene, right? This player, the player character of the human bard, has narrative priority, okay? Now, John Harper's beautiful, elegant, amazing Blade in the Dark game actually makes this a game mechanic, but every player immediately in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition can begin looking for narrative priority. I think we in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition have gotten to the point where we think in every scene, every player character has something to do. And that's just not really the case, right? I think one of the things I think we start to shift our play toward is recognizing when a scene really is about one player character, letting that player character shine, and then trusting your other player characters that when you have a scene where you can shine, they'll step back and really let you take control of that scene, right? So the reality is the players, right? The players can choose to say, you know what? I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to say a thing. I'm going to let the game master go forward. I'm not going to adjust my sword. I'm not going to try to sleight of hand that egg sapphire. I want to see what happens with the human bard. I, as a player, am going to give narrative priority to the human bard player character, right? And that is a beautiful thing. The fact that, John Harper in Blades in the Dark actually calls it out and illustrates and shows it. It's really well done there. But we all have the opportunity to bring this concept directly over to Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition immediately. And I think, recognizing narrative priority and saying, I, as a player, am going to make a choice that's going to make this game awesome, even though there's a story reason for me to derail this scene. That's being human. That's being a hero at the table, not in the fictional world, right? So we all play Dungeons & Dragons to be a hero in a fictional world, but you can be a hero to the people who are sitting right next to you by just keeping your mouth shut, right? And letting narrative priority take place and recognizing where narrative priority is. And I would love to see this game mechanic just spread like wildfire over the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition community, because it's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Try it out, and just a big thumbs up to John Harper. Man, that guy is a genius. If you have not checked out Blades in the Dark, pick up a copy. It is gorgeous, brilliant, elegant, the very best tabletop role-playing game on the market that has been published this year, easily. Okay, and I highly recommend trying out player narrative at your table this weekend. Take care, everybody.